Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. When you're hot, you're hot. And Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers are scorching hot on the recruiting trail. We talked about Laquan Robinson, the number one safety in the JUCO class, committing on Friday. We talked about top 100 national prospect in the 2024 class, committing yesterday, in Jamonta Waller. And now they land another one, dipping their toes in the 2025 class, and four-star tight end Ryan Ghea from the state of Georgia. We've talked about this a lot. Hugh Freeze, it's going to take a couple of years, a couple cycles, couple transfer portal cycles to get the talent where it needs to be for the Auburn Tigers. But unlike Bryan Harsin, Hugh Freeze is going to get that talent. He's one of the best recruiters on the trail, and he's getting a lot of traction in the last couple of days. I think it kind of coincides with this team coming together in the 2023 season. Really excited to get into Ryan Ghea and then talk about a few flip targets for the Auburn Tigers, guys that we've talked about earlier on in the summer. Before we get into it again, just want to say thank you to you guys and a special shout out to the Auburn fans. We've talked Auburn football on the recruiting trail the last couple of days. The amount of support you guys show, it's been amazing. It means a lot. You guys know I love talking recruiting. Appreciate y'all. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And for Auburn fans, it doesn't sound like we're going to be done talking Auburn football on the recruiting trail, especially as that transfer portal window opening up in the next couple of weeks. Hugh Freeze is about to get active. So again, if you do enjoy the updates, consider subscribing to the channel. We're going to be breaking down as many of these commitments as we can. And without further ado, let's get into Ryan Ghea. And I'll say we'll turn on the film in just a second about Ryan Ghea. But what I love most about him is he is a traditional tight end. When you have a lot of tight ends coming from the high school ranks, they don't line up in line. They don't block. You don't see any blocking on their film. They're pretty much just bigger wide receivers. Ryan Ghea is a full-blown tight end. This is a dude that loves blocking, is very good at blocking, and that just opens up. And one, it seems like it's a lost art. Like so many high school kids who play quote-unquote tight end, they don't really play tight end. They're bigger-bodied wide receivers that split out wide. Ryan Ghea is a legitimate tight end, and when you have a tight end that's a hammer in the run game, like Ryan Ghea is, it's just going to help this offense. And it adds like another dynamic to the value of what this player can play on the field. And Ryan Ghea kind of resembles that. Turn it on the film, show you guys a little bit what I'm talking about. I love it because a lot of times blocking, yes, Ryan Ghea has the frame. He's 6'5", 235 pounds. He loves blocking. And I think that's what's so important when you're evaluating Ryan Ghea. You're going to see a line and in line. We're going to be getting to the next level. And we're just going to be dragging this guy absolutely into the dirt. If you watch that back again, I believe he's taking two bodies with him here. I mean, and popping a big run for his team. You don't see this very often, right? We talk a lot about the different tight ends coming to the next level. Two guys in the same play. Ryan Ghea not only is a good blocker, has the frame to be a good blocker, he wants to be a good blocker. And that's what I love most about Ryan Ghea. A little screen, and executing these blocks in space is not easy. Keeping his hands inside, dragging this guy right into the sideline. You see a lot of tight ends, a lot of wide receivers blocking in space, pick up holds. He does it. And when it's time to high point the football, be a threat in the red zone, Ryan Ghea provides that as well. Is he the most athletic tight end that you'll see coming out of the 2025 class? Probably not, but the value that he has in terms of blocking is there. And he's a guy that in the red zone, like you're going to the big-bodied Ryan Ghea. If you have a tight end that can make it happen in the red zone, cash in on those big-time plays. That's how you win football games. Ryan Ghea is certainly doing that. You can watch this guy block all day long. Very, very exciting. Works the middle of the field, right? Getting right up into that seam. Really good catch point. Again, I might be selling him a little short in terms of the athleticism. I'm going to work that seam, find that sweet spot, go make a play for my quarterback. Plays at a high level of Georgia football too, so you know that's going to translate in a meaningful way. This dude's nasty, and you have to absolutely love it. Now, taking a look at the 2025 class for the Auburn Tigers, they're building. This is their sixth commitment in the class. They're sitting at a top 10 rank in the 2025 class. But more importantly, want to hone in on one, the concept that Hugh Freeze recognizes what he needs to do. He needs to continue to stack classes. How do you catch a team like Georgia or Alabama? It's not one recruiting class that is going to carry the water for you. You have to stack multiple different classes back-to-back-to-back years to get back to where that talent should be after the Bryan Harsin era. One, exactly what Hugh Freeze is doing You take a look at this Auburn class in 2024, and we said, not sure how many commits they're going to take, just because I think they're going to leave a lot of options open for how active they can get in the transfer portal. But they're sitting at a top 15 class right now. You got 5-star wide receiver Perry Thompson, Walker White, kind of the staples of this recruiting class. Let's talk about the biggest target for the Auburn Tigers, a guy that we've talked about extensively over the summer, and that is Cam Coleman. And the reason why I want to bring up Cam Coleman, one, his recruitment in the summer sounded like it was just right on track to Auburn. And then on July 4th, he ends up committing to Texas A&M. What just happened with Texas A&M? I'm sure many Auburn fans are plugged in with this one. Jimbo Fisher fired at Texas A&M. You're going to see a lot of these guys who were committed to go play for Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino reopen their commitment. And yes, Cam Coleman was at Florida State. He's been kicking it around with the Florida Gators. What has been the team that was just consistently working on Cam Coleman? It sounded like he was going to go to Auburn. It's been the Auburn Tigers. The door is open to flip Cam Coleman, and you know Hugh Freeze is going to work harder than any other head coach at getting Cam Coleman into the fold. And if you talk about getting this offense back on track, it starts with playmakers. It starts with talent. You bring in Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson in this 2024 class, I mean, you're going to see this offense absolutely take off in the next couple of years, not to mention Walker White also committed. Massive, massive target for the Auburn Tigers. I think Cam Coleman certainly reopened his recruitment. He even said that on Twitter. This is something to monitor. I'm excited for the Auburn Tigers. You know how excited I get when we're talking Hugh Freeze and what the Auburn Tigers are doing on the recruiting trail. Appreciate you guys again rocking with the fellas. Sunday afternoon, back-to-back days talking Auburn football. You guys have been awesome with the support. Again, if you do enjoy the content and you enjoy the updates, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.